On this section, I want to talk about the CSS Box Model. Now, knowing this is important because how many people they actually struggle on the job because of not knowing this that well. So for spacing, this is important to know the CSS Box Model. So what is the box model? So it's known that each HTML element is like a box made up of 4 layers, whether it's a p tag, h2 tag, div tag. So among that, which is in the inner layer, innermost in this, is the content. Okay, so content. So this is like the text or media inside. Like if you put fixed here as the text or something, that's the content. Padding is the space between the content and the border. So we're here in this green area, green section. Outside of this blue content section, this is the padding. Okay, so right outside the text. Then there's border. So that's the edge that wraps around the padding and the content. So before I showed the screen div and there was a red border, okay, that was the border. And then margin is space outside the border, separating the element from others. So if I have like 2 items and I have a margin, and that's going to separate them from each other. So I want to show some practical code for showing content. So make a screen div. I want the class to be hide screen and the background to be blue. And activate flexbox, justify center, put the items in the center. And in this screen div, main container, I want to have another item or a item. And the class, I want the background to be red. I want to set the width to 56 and also the height to 56. And I want this text to be content. Okay, so this is the content. So I save. So I have content. So this is like an item in the item. Okay, so this is item of this. This is item of this. So this is practical example of content. And this div is a content of what? This screen div. What if I add padding? And what's the difference between padding and content? So I want to show practically, I want to add p-4. So this is a padding of 16 pixels on each side. So if I save, notice how the content moved from where it was. So there's actually padding of 16 pixels on each side. And this is inside it. This is not outside the div. It's not a border. So if I add a border, if I add border dash black. The space between the border and the content is the padding. So over here, there's going to be padding of 16 pixels. I already showed border. The last thing I want to talk about in the CSS box model is margin. So copy and paste this. And I want to put the content as content2. If I go to the website, these are right next to each other, but I want some margin. I want it to be kind of separated. So among that which I can add is m-6, which is margin, and this is 24 pixels on each side. And you can also specify if you want margin top, bottom, left, right, and you can do that with padding also. But I want it to be on each side. So I put this on the items, and if I save, there's a margin. Okay, margin of 6 on each side. So we're here, you can see that clearly that is separated. So that's margin. it can be used to space between items. So it has to do with the outside, not the inside. Another thing I want to mention is margin affects the element or item that it's applied to. If I were to put margin on the container over here, screen div, it would not have an effect. Okay, so that's how it is in CSS. That's how it is in CSS. So if I put margin over here, M-6, you just see it. It's going to apply to the screen div, see, and you can see more clearly that there's space on each side, but it's not applying to the items. Among that which can be used to apply it to the items, you want to apply it on all of them, the same stuff, is I can actually use space dash X. So I use 4. This will apply what? It applies horizontal margin for the flex items in the container. So over here I have content and content 2, but it's not going to add margin between the first or last item. Rather, is space in between it. Okay, so this horizontal margin. And then if I use space dash Y, then that will add. So I'm going to change this to dash Y dash 4. So it's going to add margin vertically. And because I'm using flex row, or I'm not using flex call, it's not really working. So I want to change the axis. I want to use left dash call, Y axis. And I'm seeing that margin in between the items. That was an easy intro to the box model and some spacing. So let's continue in the next video.